Hey guys, how you doing? It's Fraser here, strength and conditioning coach for the Biella Bears. Welcome to the Tenzo of Justice and welcome to another video. Guys, we're talking about the single arm snatch today and I've got a challenge for you at the end of the video. So stay tuned for that because I want to hear how you go on this challenge. So guys, I programmed the single arm snatch for a couple of reasons. One, it's really good for power development. Two, we can use it as a conditioning tool. So we're going to talk about both in this video because both have slightly different techniques. For example, in conditioning, you're going to want to use the muscle variation of the single arm snatch, whereas for everything else, and most of the time, you're going to want to use the power variation. So we're going to have a look at the differences in this video. There's so many benefits to the single arm snatch. We're going to look at dumbbell and barbell today, so let's just get straight into it. So guys, there's lots of benefits for bringing this move into your program. If you're trying to develop your power game, then the dumbbell snatch or the barbell single arm snatch fits into the more velocity side of the load velocity curve. Now you're using your full kinetic chain, your whole body, to put this weight above your head, but of course it's going to be lighter than, let's say, a heavy clean where you've got two hands on the barbell, or a traditional barbell snatch where again you've got two hands on the barbell. Now as I said, you use your whole body to get this movement done, and we're going to look at a couple different variations of the single arm snatch that you can use in your training. For example, we use the single arm snatch in one of our conditioning top-up sessions. We use another variation in power phases when we're really trying to peak the guys and make them as explosive as possible on the rugby pitch. So there's two variations in this video that you're going to want to watch out for, and you'll just have to choose which variation is right for you depending on what kind of stimulus you want and what kind of workout you have. So without further ado, let's have a look at the technique. So guys, we're going to look at the muscle variation of the single arm snatch. And all that means is you're using your full body, but you're not jumping, you're not rebending your knees, okay? You're catching the barbell or the dumbbell, whatever implement you're using, you're catching it high. You're not rebending your knees. So the muscle variation can be really good if you're just trying to chase the pace on a conditioning exercise. You're not going to use your full power there. Whereas in the power variation, you are going to jump. I actively tell my guys they must jump when we're in our power phases, whether we're doing cleans or snatches or barbell jumps, or we're doing our drop jumps or depth jumps. The key is in the title, but jumping is key, and that's something that a lot of people miss when they bring in cleans and snatches to their program. And with a dumbbell or doing the single arm version, it's no different when you're focusing on power. You're going to want to do the single arm snatch with power, so you're going to jump. So we've got the muscle variation and we've got the power variation. Again, the muscle variation is great if it's conditioning, you've got lots of reps to get through, you know, it's a sub-maximal weight. The power variation will contribute to developing your explosive profile. You're putting max effort into every rep. After 4 reps, you're going to be tired, but that's okay because you're putting everything into every rep. You're developing your power. So although the movements look very similar, there's two different stimulus there, and you'll use more weight on the power version because you're putting your full effort, you're jumping and catching, you're putting your full effort into it, and you'll use less weight, but you'll do more reps typically on the muscle variation. Okay guys, let's look at the setup and break down the technique. So typically you want to be in your jump stance, which means that your feet are going to be just underneath your hips. Now with the dumbbell, you might need to take your feet slightly wider to shoulder width because you want to implement almost directly under you. Now everybody's slightly different, but that's a good starting point to aim for the stance. So you're going to hinge at the hips and bend the knees until you've got a nice straight back. You should feel the weight not right back on your heels, but not at the front of your foot either. Your weight should be distributed on the mid part of your foot, so you've got good contact with the floor, with your hips higher than your knees but lower than your shoulders. So guys, once you have the correct stance, you want to drive with your legs to get into a jump position and simply jump. But what should the upper body be doing? The cue that I often use is zipping up, over-exaggerate, zipping up a jacket. Now of course the cue has to be specific to fix whatever you need fixed, but generally speaking that works quite well in getting people to understand the movement of the arm. So I coach my guys to almost internally rotate at the start with the chest out, okay, so the dumbbell is going to be at a slight angle, the barbell is going to be horizontal, alright, and then that's going to get you in the right position with the arm. What we don't want is to have like a kettlebell swing. We don't want the dumbbell or the barbell to loop away from us. We're looking to minimize horizontal trajectory and maximize vertical trajectory. So it's often a mistake that novice weightlifters make on their clean and their snatch is that the bar is a little bit loopy. And that's okay, it's just a learning thing, so be aware. This is why we want to be in this position. Remember, nobody's telling you to load the shoulder really heavy and really slowly in this position where you might be somewhat vulnerable. What you're doing is generating the momentum with your legs, using your whole body to get that weight moving. You're simply turning it over with your arm and actually pulling yourself underneath the barbell. The same thing is true with the muscle variation. You're just using momentum and flicking that weight above your head. Okay guys, so let me show you raw what this will look like. So we've got a 40 kilogram dumbbell, we've got 40 kilograms on the barbell, and let me show you a rep on my left hand and my right hand, and you'll notice that both techniques are very, well, they're the same. So let me chalk up. Left hand, right hand, here we go. Power variation, this is the power variation, of course. Okay, right hand. So you'll notice every time I'm going from here, okay? On that left side, I could have been quicker with the turnaround, to be fair. All right, let's go barbell. A little bit of chalk. Jump and catch, jump and catch. Here we go. Okay. Right hand. Okay, so admittedly, I'm better at it on my right hand than my left hand, which is going to be the case for everyone. You're going to have a stronger side, you know that already, and it's just a case of training it to close the gap. Guys, if you're still here, I would really appreciate it if you could like this video and subscribe to this channel. It really helps me get the information out to more people and hopefully help more people on their training journey. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you. So guys, we mentioned power development at the start and high velocity, but there are other things going on in this movement which are beneficial. First of all, it's a unilateral movement, so things are slightly different compared to when you're using a barbell with two hands on it in terms of how you catch the weight and where the distribution is going to be on your legs. In fact, you'll find there's going to be a little bit of a shift and more weight going through your left leg if you're snatching with your right hand, and vice versa if you're snatching with your left hand. You might think, oh no, we can't have that. We don't want an unequal distribution when we're catching the load, but actually we do. That's one of the reasons why we do unilateral training, because we want to be able to take weight and absorb it in positions where we have stability, but not necessarily 50-50 distribution. So there's implications there for rehab as well as performance. Another benefit is that you're throwing a weight above your head, you're racking and stacking it above your head. So you're going to have a strong trunk, and you're going to be working your shoulder stability. So one of my programs I've prescribed is you hit 2 reps of the power dumbbell snatch, you walk 20 meters, nice and slow and stable, which is going to be really challenging for the trunk and the shoulder. So again, serves as performance and prehab. Once you get to the end of 20 meters, dumbbell down, change hand, 2 reps, and then go again. So that's something we've used in season for our transfer group, and it works really well when we're in that power phase to combine a little bit of performance and prehab when time is against us and we need to maximize results. So remember, it's not just for explosive strength and power development, there are also auxiliary benefits to doing this movement. So guys, if you're trying to become more powerful, you have to track your impulse, your peak power output, and a couple of other key metrics. Now, VITRUVE's linear positional transducer allows you to do exactly that. So thank you very much to VITRUVE for sponsoring this video. We use their encoder here at Biella Rugby Club. I use it in my own training to understand if my athletes are becoming more powerful throughout the season and year on year. Guys, not only that, you can use the encoder to get real-time feedback to understand if you're putting everything you have into every single rep, and that is so important, because the most important thing in power development is to put everything you have into every single rep. And typically we don't make big changes on loading on power exercises because we might be adding 1% to the barbell each time. So having something that actually gives you the velocity or the peak power output is really, really useful for driving your performance and making you better. So guys, I can't recommend VITRUVE's linear positional transducer enough. It's super user friendly. I would not recommend it if it's not something that I use and value. So that's why they're sponsoring this video, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. With that being said, let's get back to the video. So guys, we've got 50 kilograms on the barbell now. I'm going to see if I can turn that over with my left hand, my left shoulder. I know I can with my right when I'm fresh. That's my challenge of the day, and then we'll get into your challenge. Left hand check. Now let's go right hand. Full power. Have to follow it a little bit. Nice. Good. Quite happy at that. As you can see, I'm out of breath. I was using like everything I had to get that 50 kilograms above my head. Now in one of my short videos on the single arm snatch, someone accused me of using a green screen. I don't know why, because 50 kilograms isn't particularly impressive. However, we keep it real here, okay? No green screens, none of that stuff, okay? If I bench press 80 kilograms, I show you 80 kilograms. If I snatch 50, I snatch 50. I don't care, okay? I'm trying to get across some useful information to you, some exercises that might benefit you and give you practical tips and takeaways that you can use in your program, the stuff that I use here with the pros, the stuff that I use in my own training, and hopefully you take it, use it, implement it, and you see great results. Okay guys, that brings us on to today's challenge. Now before I tell you the challenge and issue the challenge, I want to just say this isn't for beginners. So if you are a beginner, if you're new to this movement even, and you're not a beginner but you're new to this movement, then go and familiarize yourself. Here's what you need to do if you're familiarizing yourself with the movement. Go and try, warm up, okay? Try and do a 1RM dumbbell curl. Do a 1RM dumbbell curl, okay? Once you get to the point that you can't use your bicep to curl it, you can start with that weight on the dumbbell snatch, okay? Here's why. Because often the guys will ask me, you know, they're cool doing repping out 20 kilograms on each arm for 8 reps. And then I'm saying, you know, in the bodybuilding phase or the hypertrophy phase, and then we get into our power phase, like, oh Fraser, what should I use here? 16 kilograms? I'm like, hello, you're using your whole body to take this dumbbell over your head and you want to use 16 kilograms. So I use the dumbbell curl test to go, okay, that's your starting point. Show me that you can execute the technique really well, as demonstrated in this video, and then you can progressively move on. So I'd be going for 4 sets of 4 each side, okay, and just adjust the weight as needed, but start off with that max 1RM curl weight, okay? That'll give you a little bit of a guide as to where to start. As for today's challenge, so the people that are a little bit more experienced and have done this movement before or have now familiarized themselves with it, here's what you need to do. It's every minute, on the minute, with 50% of your body weight. You're gonna do 1 rep each side. So every rep is a new rep. Make sure you're doing the power version of this, of course, and you're using everything you've got to put that above your head. Now the work to rest ratio should be about 1 to 5, okay? So you're gonna have enough time in the first couple sets to feel okay, you'll get into it, and then fatigue will start to creep in. Now generally we don't want to train true power stuff under fatigue. We want to be as fresh as possible, but this is a nice little challenge that'll certainly target that power element and then keep you honest to get the reps in right to the end. There won't be a whole lot of fatigue. Keep it at 10 minutes. Don't do 2 reps each side. Focus on being as powerful as you can. 1 rep, 1 rep. Take your rest, but that will keep you honest and you'll get through this workout. And it's a great little workout you can do if you're rushed on time. You come in, you warm up, 10 minutes, boom, boom. You're getting the shoulder stability. You're training your trunk. You're keeping that strong and tight. You're getting exposure of jumping through the legs. So it's really a fun one to do. Let me know in the comment section how you get on and if you struggle with 50% because maybe one side you can turn over quicker than the other side. That's absolutely normal. Train it and it will come. Obviously this is a relative strength challenge, so it's 50% of your body weight. So I'm curious to see how people go with it. Anyway guys, if you're unsure of anything, write in the comments section. Clearly don't perform this move until you're fully familiarized with it. Seek out a local trainer at your gym if you're really unsure about the movement. And another tip would be to film yourself, just like your squats and every other movement. Then you get to really see what your movement pattern looks like. Sometimes if you're using a mirror, and I hope that you're not using a mirror when you're doing cleans and snatches, but sometimes when you are using a mirror, you get a sort of false reading of where you are. Whereas if you set the camera up at the right angle, you'll get a real gauge of the movement pattern and whether or not it's within the technical model. And that's all for today guys. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you're still here, give me a thumbs up because I really appreciate that. And thanks again to VITRUVE for sponsoring this video. Guys, if you're interested in strength and power training, then check out these 2 videos here. 10 most useful power exercises based on my experience and the 10 best strength exercises based on my experience. You're going to want to check out one of these 2 videos. Guys, I will see you there. Thanks for watching. Cheers.